Game one of the Phillies season has come and gone. Obviously, it didn't go the way we wanted or expected it to, at least some of us. So, obviously, if you didn't hear, the Phillies lost 12-7 today against the Texas Rangers. It was an unfortunate way to lose. 9 runs in the fourth inning allowed. Aaron Nola did not have an ideal start, went 3 1/3, gave up 5 runs, really had a hard time finding the zone his second time through that order. But I don't think it was necessarily what I would say is a bad loss. I'm not somebody who believes in good losses. I think the only sport though that good losses can happen in is baseball just because of how long of the season is. But looking at this game, the Phillies offense was electric. They out-hit the Rangers, 12 hits, 9 runs, 7 extra base hits. I wish they would have got some more extra base hits as the game went on. They only had their extra base hits through the first 3 innings. But overall, offensively, a very impressive game. Trey Turner he ended up having a triple in that game. I believe he went 1 for 4. Yeah, he went 1 for 4 with a triple and an RBI. Struck out once, walked once. Pretty solid day for him. Kyle Schwarber had a tough day at the plate. 2 strikeouts. I don't know how Schwarber's going to fit in that 2 spot. I don't really like him in the 2 spot. I either want him at the 1 or the 4 or 5, but we're going to give Rob Thompson some time to iron out the lineup. JT Realmuto had a good day. Not a great day for Derek Hall in his first career and his start today at first base. Nick Castellanos had an okay day. Bryson Stott, he was okay, struck out twice. Alec Bohm was the star of the day, though. 3 for 4 with a home run, a double, and a single. Phenomenal day for Alec Bohm. Jake Cave, he had a rough day in his debut with the Phillies. And Brandon Marsh had a pretty solid day. Really, the pitching was the issue for the Phillies. Aaron Nola, 3 and 2/3. 5 runs allowed, 4 walks. He really had a hard time finding the zone in that 3rd inning. The second time through the lineup, he really had a tough time finding the zone. Gregory Soto, this is where my complaint with Rob Thompson is through game 1. My complaint is with the fact that Rob Thompson, I didn't like the way he used the guys in the bullpen. He kind of used Gregory Soto in a long reliever spot. I was not a fan of that. I don't think Gregory Soto really thrives well in a long reliever role. I don't really think that's the best fit for him. I would like to see him more in a shorter setup, closing type of role. But again, got to give Rob some time to iron some things out with this team. It's still there's a lot of new guys here. But I really liked what I saw from Vasquez today. Bilotti, he was all right. Strahm looked impressive. He actually got through that the 8th inning for the Phillies pretty easily. Gregory Soto and Alec Bohm really looked rough. Aaron Nola really looked rough though. Aaron Nola, like I said, had a hard time finding the zone the second time through the lineup. 24 balls. He sits at a 12.27 ERA today. Like I said, not a great day. I'm expecting, obviously, this to be a one-time thing. Listen, the Phillies are not going to give up 9 runs in an inning every time. It took a 9-run 4th inning to beat them today. If that inning is cut even down a little bit, the Phillies would have found a way would have won the game today. But they didn't. It's just the reality of things. So pitching, obviously, that's, I guess, the bigger concern right now. This rotation still is a little touchy. Aaron Nola's been up and down at times throughout his career. He's had a lot of rough patches, hoping to have another Cy Young type of season out of him. I still think he can. I think, the first start can always be rough for a guy, especially coming out of spring training. Obviously the Phillies are also adjusting. This is the first time that they played that late into the season. Nobody has ever on their team had ever played that late into the season. So this is really the first time that any of them are experiencing this. So that's very interesting. I think people kind of expected us to come out and hit the ground running, but we didn't have that extra month or 2 of rest like other teams did. So I think got to give them some time to work back into things, figure some things out. Obviously, especially with Bryce Harper out and now Reese Costing's out, Pache is going to be back, so I think he's going to fill in for Jake Cave. I wasn't really a fan of him. Kind of was just a filling guy for the Phillies. I really did like the move for Christian Pache. What's up, Carl? How you doing, my man? But yeah, no, overall, a lot of good, and that's offensively. But pitching, Gregory Soto looked rough. Threw more balls than strikes. He had a really tough time finding the zone today, especially with his breaking ball. So what I want to see out of the Phillies is get Gregory Soto in a more comfortable position. You gave up 2 valuable pieces for him. Nick Maton and Matt Vierling are very, very solid utility guys that this ball club could have used. So you give up very valuable pieces for him. So you're going to have to use him right, because when you use him right, he's an all-star level pitcher. He's an all-star level reliever. We've seen it. He's done it the last 2 years in the AL. He was one of the best relievers in the entire AL. So Listen, I'm not going to hit the panic button. I know Philly fans, we love to hit the panic button. And yeah, it can be concerning because we saw how low this team could get last year. Before Girardi got fired, 22-9, 22-29 obviously isn't great. But they really found a way to find their groove as time went on. So I'm expecting that to happen similarly. I did not think this team was going to hit the ground running. I thought we'd get off not to a slow start, but not as blazing hot, like we're going to be the best team in baseball from day one, because the Phillies weren't the best team in baseball last year. What the Phillies did is they put themselves in the position in the postseason, and they got themselves in the postseason. They played their best baseball when it mattered most. A similar thing is going to have to happen for us to win the World Series. We're going to have to make the playoffs, which I know we will. I'm not concerned about that. It is still so early too. But yes, pitching a little bit of a concern though. Aaron Nola looked rough, obviously. Gregory Soto looked rough. I would have liked to see Connor Brogdon in that more long reliever situation. That's more of his style. Bailey Falter's probably going to get moved to the bullpen to be more of a long reliever when Andrew Painter comes back, if he's playing in the majors this season. But overall, nothing to really be concerned about. Let's turn to the offense. Let's look at the good. We talked about the pitching. We talked about the rough part. Let's talk about the good. We'll start with the good in the pitching. I really liked what we saw from Vasquez. He really threw well today, in my opinion. Bellotti, he was okay. He was Andrew Bellotti. He was just eating an inning for the Phillies. Matt Strahm, that was a pickup that I feel like was a little underrated. I really do like Matt Strahm. I really think he'll be a valuable piece out of the bullpen for the Phillies in games like this that are tighter. And yes, the bullpen will sharpen up. We've dealt with plenty there are plenty of games to go around. But how you sell that's what I don't know. Pitching really took a dump. Aaron Nola obviously not his best start, especially, but like I said, these guys aren't used to pitching that late in the season like they did last year. So I think we're seeing a little attrition set in. They're not in that full season form yet. Once we get the ball rolling, I think we'll see much more improvements. It took, like I said, a 9-run fourth inning to beat the Phillies. But Matt Strahm, I thought he was solid. I was impressed overall. Nothing too crazy there. Pitching, not a lot of highlights to look at. But let's look at the lineup. The lineup was on fire today. Trey Turner, solid game, triple, and a short triple at that. That was a Trey Turner triple. Nobody else in baseball is getting a triple out of that except for Trey Turner. I was pretty impressed with his debut. Even his strikeout, the thing about Trey Turner is it's competitive at bats, but he had an RBI, got on base twice. Excuse me. Struck out once. It's going to happen. Part of baseball. Trey Turner, impressive debut. I'm excited to see what other additions he can add to this Phillies lineup. Kyle Schwarber, not a very impressive start to the season. 2 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. I don't like Kyle Schwarber in that 2 spot. I think you really limit his power. I know a lot of managers switching more to got a lot more power in the 2 slot, but I like Kyle Schwarber more of either the 5 or that leadoff spark guy, because they get through Trey Turner, especially if Trey Turner doesn't get on. There's a lot they can play with Kyle Schwarber. They don't have to throw necessarily to him as much. Leading off, they have to throw a little bit more to him. In that 5 spot, runners get on, or 4 spot for now with Harper out. Got to throw a little bit more to him. Not a very great day for Kyle Schwarber, but I'm expecting it to turn around. I'm still expecting a big season out of him. JT Realmuto, very impressive day. 3 for 5, 1 strikeout, 6 total bases. I believe JT Realmuto had a double. JT Realmuto did have a double and a triple. That's right. JT Realmuto also had 3 triples today. How about that? 3 triples. But JT Realmuto, even as he gets older, his speed does not slow down. Stolen base as well. He's always a threat on the bags to steal a base. Very good at the plate once again for the Phillies. But yeah, definitely a very good day out of JT Realmuto. A little bit of, not concern, but a little bit, some questions. He let a lot of balls go by today. He had 2 or 3 pass balls, I believe. But they're not concerned about it. Again, early in the season, it's just something you may want to keep an eye on. A couple of pass balls today on JT, something you don't see very often from the best defensive catcher in baseball. Derek Hall, he had an RBI, 0 for 4, or what was it? Yeah, or 0 for 3, 0 for 2. I'm sorry, 0 for 2. Okay day out of Derek Hall. RBI got on VO walk. He's very aggressive, which I like, because as the season goes on, he's going to get more stuff to hit. but a little to start the season. Go Rangers. Yeah, I know. The Rangers won. All right. All right. All right. Get your jokes out now. Get your jokes out now. But Derek Hall, he's filling in. I think Derek Hall is going to get a good chunk of the season to show what he's made of. And if not, I think the Phillies could definitely make something happen via the trade market for a first baseman to try to improve this roster a bit. But for now, Derek Hall, we got to give him some time. It's his first time as a full-time starter, so I'm excited to see what we got with Derek Hall. Nick Castellanos, very up and down game. Nick Castellanos' high were very, very high today. He had a double, he had a base hit. He was aggressive at the plate, which I like. Nick Castellanos is still having a hard time hitting sliders, especially to outside the zone. He's having a very hard time. He loves to chase those sliders. He's got to become more patient with that. He's going to have to become more patient with that because you saw in the last at-bat. What'd they do when the count ran full? Hit JT Realmuto with a slider running out of the zone, and you will get, or not JT, Nick Castellanos, and you'll get him every time. He loves swinging at that pitch, and he just can't hit it. After all this time, after all we saw last year, I thought he worked on it. Didn't look like he worked on hitting the slider so much today. But once again, early in the season. But overall, Nick Castellanos got to keep an eye on that. He's going to have to figure out what to do with that slider. Getting 2 hits is fine and all, but striking out 3 times is not. So, it's a lot of boom or bust with Nick Castellanos. I think we're going to see a lot of that's this season, unfortunately. I just hope it's not on him chasing sliders out of the zone all the time. Alec Boehm or Bryson Stott. Another guy, okay, Dave. Bryson Stott, he loves the auto take on the first pitch, which I know a lot of guys do. I wish he would be a little bit more aggressive early in counts. He's not as aggressive early in counts as I would like him to be. But I definitely was impressed. I definitely want to see what he's able to bring this season. He made a nice play in the field, was pretty solid in the field today, struck out twice. Want to see him be a little bit more aggressive early in the counts, but he did get a hit. He did get on, overall an okay day for the first game of the season. Alec Boehm, the star of the day. The star of the day. And if my dad is watching this, Alec Boehm, the star of the day, 3 for 4, a home run, a double, and a single. He led the Phillies in RBIs, hits, and total bases. What a day for Alec Boehm. I'm expecting big things out of Alec Boehm this season. He put on 15 pounds of muscle, he said. He got better as the season went on last year. I love Alec Boehm. I love the potential that this kid brings, and I'm very excited to see what he's able to do as the season goes on. A great start to his season. I think he's going to be one of the best hitters in all of baseball this season. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm going to be pushing Alec Boehm propaganda for the next 6 months, hopefully 9 months. So enjoy it. Because it's not going to stop. Alec Boehm propaganda is going to be coming for a very long time. Jake Cave, I don't have much to say about Jake Cave. I don't. I want to say something good, but I don't have much to say about Jake Cave. I don't know much about him. He probably won't be in the lineup much because Christian Pachier is going to be coming in and taking over. I don't know what they're going to do, where they're going to move guys necessarily, but I do believe Christian Pachier is going to be coming in and taking over and, spreading out that field a bit. I do like Castellanos on defense instead of Schwarber. Thank you. I appreciate it, Schwam. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for tuning in as well. I do like Castellanos in the outfield instead of Schwarber. Because I think Castellanos, we saw flashes of him being a great defender in the postseason. So I'm very excited to see what he's able to bring. But overall, Jake Cave, he's going to be bouncing in and out. I feel like Pachier is going to be out there more. And then Brandon Marsh, solid day. He had a triple. And, he snuck that triple out. I believe he had a double as well. Or do you have 2 singles? No, he had a double and a triple. So a very good day at the plate for Alec Boehm or Brandon Marsh. A lot of extra base hits for the Phillies. They're being very aggressive on the base path. But, a lot of solid things we saw out of this Phillies lineup today. Striking out a little too much, a little bit more than I like. Pitching was questionable at times today. But overall, I think this team's still in a great spot to go very far this season. I really like the way this roster is constructed. We're going to be able to see Wheeler on the mound we don't play tomorrow because of the whole built-in, which why are they doing a built-in game in Texas? Doesn't make any sense to me. But we'll be able to see Wheeler on the mound on Saturday. I'm hoping to watch it. I'm going to be prioritized on the Final Four still College basketball is at the very, very end. Got a baseball game of my own to call. So if I don't watch it, I won't do a recap, but I will be doing a recap on Sunday for Sunday's game as we close out the series. But overall, thank you for tuning in, whether you're on Instagram or YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to try to do these for as many games as possible. I'll be bouncing around between Instagram, TikTok, live on my phone, Facebook, Twitter, and the YouTube will always get them. Thank you guys for tuning in on all platforms, and I will see you guys